I'm holding this mic stand and I'm wearing my Christmas gift. You know what that means. It's another week of Barbie Fest. In our last official Barbie Fest video, I know we just did Nutcracker. That's I don't know, in two categories. That was part of Nutcracker celebration. But in our last official fully Barbie Fest video, we talked about how death is temporary. Barbie loves a good fake out. But there is something Barbie loves more than a fake out: an assassination plot and or attempt. I think this comes from how much they love princesses, that they always want to have a princess, but there also has to be stakes and dramatic tension. So that usually comes in the form of an assassination attempt. Before we get any further, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Bailey. If you're watching this, you're probably my friend and I sent it to you, so thank you very much for clicking on it. If you're not somebody I know in real life, I am also very glad you're here. Thank you for clicking on it. On this channel, I just yap. And right now it's about Barbie trying to murder. For this assassination video, I was going to talk about 5 movies. Instead, it's going to be 4. Nutcracker was going to be in this video, but it got its own. So the ones that we're going to talk about today are Princess Power, Pearl Princess, 12 Dancing Princesses, and Princess Charm School. We had a lot of honorable mentions. So they are as follows: Nutcracker, Princess and the Pauper, Fairytopia, Pegasus, Magic of the Rainbow, Island Princess, Mariposa, Diamond Castle, Three Musketeers, and Mermaid Tale. Like I said, Barbie loves a princess. Therefore, Barbie loves an assassination. I'm going in order of success. So our first one that we're going to start with is Princess Power, which came out in 2015. This one is also going first so that I can get it out of the way. I did not like watching it, and I rewatch all the movies before I talk about them. I watched these a year ago and took notes. So now when I go to record, I'll watch it again. And while I was watching this one, I had to mentally shift over to thinking of it as a parody, and then I liked it. If I'm watching this as a parody of the superhero genre, it's great. If I'm watching this seriously as a Barbie movie, I hate it. It also made me realize how many more stinkers I have to rewatch. How dare I assign this work to myself that nobody is making me do except for me? Okay, let's go. We meet Barbie. Her name is Kara in this one, and she's a thrill seeker. We see her flying over the city, and it crashes. Her castle sucks. The outfits look cheap. And it turns out she was flying to find a spot for a community garden, which, okay. We have so many leggings under skirt combos because later she flies, and we don't want to have anybody talking about looking up her skirt. So we just have this very... it came out in 2015. I suppose this is kind of its time, hipster fashion. Ugh. Also, there is something wrong with Barbie's look in this movie. I have tried to figure it out. I think it's the low contrast between her skin and her hair. I think she needs bangs or a part. That poof is not working for me. Also, her face is hollowed out. She got the buccal fat removal or is on Ozempic or something. She just doesn't look right. Comment below what you think is wrong with her. Things just look so empty in this movie. After she crash lands, her parents are pissed at her for risking her life, and she says she wants to do something meaningful. We meet their advisor. He's obviously evil. Honestly, when we see him in his lab later with his frog, he kind of reminds me of Cedric from Sophia the First. Not that I've ever watched that show. I like his pet frog, though, and he, hugs... He thinks he has a claim to the throne and wants to sit in the big chair and wear the big crown. And later we see him hug it. He's so odd. This is why I have to think of it as a parody. The frog knocks over his experiment and it falls apart like a Rube Goldberg machine. And his elixir goes down the drain where it drips onto a caterpillar that turns into an ugly butterfly that has a pink glittery trail. Kara feels her parents are getting worse and worse about being overprotective. Corinne, I think that's her cousin, tells her basically get over it. And then the ugly butterfly with the sparkly trail shows up and Kara saves it from Corinne. So the butterfly kisses her on the cheek, and then it's very reminiscent of Peter Parker getting his powers in the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. The next day, she wakes up and she saves her cat from a tree by flying, and she's not entirely sure how that works. Honestly, if that hadn't worked out for her, this princess might be dead. Kara calls her sciencey friends that help her fly earlier over, and they kind of do some experiments, and we get a very Spider-Man, go web, go! Ha! Huh. If you remember that from, again, this feels very inspired by Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And contextually, 2015, yes, Avengers were very popular, superheroes were the blockbuster. I understand them making a superhero movie. I just don't understand why it's so Spider-Man. But they do some deduction and they figure out it's probably that sparkly butterfly that we've never seen before, and realize that her powers are super strength, agility, flight, and can shoot pink sparkles. This movie has static backgrounds. We got away from the static backgrounds, but we're back to it now. Her friends decide she can only use her powers to help others instead of for personal gain. It's commentary about the elite in here. When have they ever done that? They decide to go with the name Super Sparkle, and her friends are like, oh my god, we'll make you an outfit. I would not trust bitches dressed like this to make an outfit for me. But they do, and it's ugly. Do comic books exist? Because everything has a very comic book feel and design, which is fun aesthetically, and I'm sure was fun for dolls, but it raises the questions of like, do superheroes exist, or not necessarily superheroes, do comic books exist for them to accept her as a superhero? Her first rescue happens. It is a frankly ridiculous OSHA violation that would get that whole construction site shut down. And when she tries to save one person, her cousin, she endangers like 50 more people. And this was the point where I went, parody. Like the heavens open. Parody. One of the people that she saved has a blog and he wants to interview her. This is clearly like the Lois Lane type. I do kind of like that it's a blogger and not like works at a newspaper. She gets home. Kara had a great time. She loves saving people. Her friends make her room into like her top secret base. This note just says, I want to die. She stops a purse thief who is definitely dead after how she threw him into the wall. That's not the assassination attempt, though. The bad guy is spending this movie getting ingredients to make the elixir again. She doesn't really care about the community garden anymore because she feels like she's doing like actual action to help people, and finds out that her little sisters are fans of Super Sparkle and they want to invite her to the upcoming party. We get a montage of her saving the day. For her birthday, her tech support friends give her a smart ring. And this kind of feels like the writers were just like throwing out things that sound techie. And because remember, the audience we have to impress is like children. So they'll be impressed by this. The little girls go to get permission to go to the party dressed as Super Sparkle. And then the tech support friends go in their superhero fairy costumes and get mad when they're told it's not a costume party. I don't know. I don't understand. Wear a normal dress, please. And their defense for this isn't a costume party is those little girls are dressed in costume. Yeah. And my cousin's daughter wore a Frozen nightgown to another cousin's wedding. That's what counts as fancy to a child. At bloggers at the party, and they ask the king and queen for a comment about Super Sparkle, and they're like, she's great, we love what she's doing for the community. And then Kara's like, well, I want the recognition. And her friend's like, dude, no you don't. You're doing this to help people, not for praise. But I get where she's coming from. Kara sneaks off from the party to stop a crime and then sneaks back in and is seen by Corinne. So Corinne decides she's going to use this information to try to become a superhero herself. She overhears a conversation between the tech friends. Dude, those are weak links. And tries to catch the butterfly at the same time that the frog is. And then she does catch the butterfly, gets powers, names herself Dark Sparkle. That reporter guy, what are we gonna, Lewis Lane, I don't know his name. In here he's just reporter. We'll call him Lewis Lane. Lewis Lane finds the ring. We'll come back to that later. The advisor endangers himself and Kara saves him, and then Dark Sparkle shows up and makes things worse. Kara does eventually save the day, but is like super pissed at Corinne. And then she gets even more pissed off when her friends defend Corinne and are like, wouldn't having help make your job easier? Isn't more supers a good thing? Why would you name yourself Dark Sparkle and call yourself a good guy? We get another montage of them both like competing to save the day, and it always endangers somebody when they're competing against each other. And Corinne just gets like more and more pissed the more attention Dark Sparkle gets. And wouldn't you believe it, one of her sisters dressed up as Dark Sparkle. They want to play as Dark Sparkle. Oh God. That blogger, Lewis Lane, connects the dots between the ring that the princess wears and the ring that Super Sparkle lost and posts about it. And then her parents are like super pissed for endangering herself, and they're like, dude, you were fine with it when it wasn't me, when you didn't know it was me. And then, you know, I get where they're coming from, I guess. Like, you are next in line for the throne, but there are also like 2 other sisters, so they tell her she's not allowed to be Super Sparkle anymore. That advisor guy was successful in making the elixir again. He drinks it, so does the frog, and they both get superpowers. And then he attacks the royal family, and Kara and Corinne defend them. This is the assassination attempt, okay? Kara's family goes into the panic room in the castle. Nobody else is allowed in, though, just the royal family. Corinne and Kara fight. And for Corinne, she's fighting about, you always hog the spotlight. And Kara's like, dude, you're just so fucking jealous of me. Get your own goddamn life. Get a life. That's not mine. Stop copying me. So then Corinne's like, all right, fine. You got this by yourself then. I'll see you later. So then Kara has to fight the advisor, and he goes to the volcano and like awakens it by blasting it with magic and like clearing apart in the wall so that the lava will flow directly to the castle. I don't know a lot about lava, but I don't think you can like aim a stream. Just cut it open and it'll hit it. It goes out, not skinny down. Oh, this is special magic world lava. Okay, now we can do it. Parody, 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 parody. This note says, I hate this movie. She punches the volcano so lava stops flowing out of it. Magic lava. Alternate universe. We're good. The lava reaches the castle and the panic room starts to tilt. She does like stand it back up. She does save at least her parents. Unclear if the castle evacuated. There might be dead people in the castle burned alive. The way that the lava bursts through the doors is not how lava works. I do know that. Those doors would just be on fire. There would. I also don't know how the stone walls around the castle aren't melting, but it melted the tower. We'll just say it's magic lava. So then Kara's plan is she's going to like dig a tunnel that goes away from the city and towards the river, but she's kind of losing steam. So then Corinne shows up and helps her, and they don't really apologize, but they are willing to work with each other now. Once they succeed at saving the town, then they apologize to each other. The advisor shoots at them. Because he's not dead yet, they fight him, and then the frog ties them up with his tongue, and they think it's gross too. And then this dog and cat that I have not mentioned. Well, we mentioned the cat. She saved it from a tree. I guess somewhere along the way they got powers. So they fight the advisor and the frog. And then it hits me, why don't Kara's parents care that Corinne is doing dangerous stuff too? I haven't seen her parents. As far as I can tell, she lives in the castle. I guess they only care about their children. Anybody else is a hanger-on? I don't know. They lock up the advisor in the panic room and insinuate that he's just going to stay there forever instead of going to jail. Corinne and Kara are praised and thanked by the king, and the king and queen agree to like be let go a little bit more. I mean, she is pretty invulnerable, so. And Kara does apologize for being a turd. They do the community garden. So with this movie, Barbie really said, "Stop calling me gay," and made the rival her cousin. Also, I get that the Avengers were popular, but I think we could do better for like a girl's superhero than Super Sparkle with her glitter powers. I mean, it is like kind of fun, but like her outfit sucks and it's all just like pink girly girly. I'd like, I don't know, maybe a little bit more serious. I feel like the later Barbie movies lose the seriousness that the first ones have, and I know that they've always been ridiculous, but it does feel like they actually like give a shit about people as people and not like a tool for recognition. So I'm like pretty sure that I saw this one on TV at some point, like on like Nickelodeon or something. They used to play Barbie movies, but not the good ones. Okay, best dress. I'm gonna have to go with Kara's birthday party gown. You know, Corinne's is pretty close second. I think I just like Corinne's design better than Kara's, and therefore I like her dress better. On to the next one. We're gonna talk about Barbie Pearl Princess, which came out in 2014. I really do like this movie a lot. I think it is like peak Barbie nonsense. You've got, you know, hot pink design. Spoiler alert, whatever. We're going to talk about it anyway. Doesn't know that she's a princess. Also, she's a princess. Also, she has magic that she mostly just uses to do her hair. The assassination plot and attempt. There is a love interest, but she doesn't really give a shit about him. It is mermaids. Peak Barbie nonsense. I really do enjoy Pearl Princess. If you were to pick like one from all of this that you haven't seen before because maybe you're my age and you stopped watching them around Island Princess, then watch Pearl Princess. So when we start, we meet Lumina, and she has pearl magic, which means she can like move pearls around, keep them in place, change colors. Like she could move pearls. Pearl magic. Just go with it, okay? Pearl magic. And she's playing Coronation with a pink seahorse. We see this ugly old mermaid, her Aunt Scylla, who tells her, like, dude, stop doing your magic outside. If people see you doing this, bad people are going to come and they're going to take you away. You don't need to understand. You just need to do what I tell you. They go home and Lumina wishes she was a princess, and Aunt Scylla looks guilty while she listens. You know why in your heart of hearts. We cut to the castle. The king and queen are brunette and wear green. Obviously, they can't be Barbie's parents because she's blonde and wears pink. So they're depressed because their daughter's been missing for a long time. Where do you think she is? Their advisor is begging them to do a public appearance, and because they don't have an heir... Sorry, I just flashed back to Pegasus' parents whose daughter got taken from them. So they were like, we'll just have another one 16 years later. Just have another one. But they can't. Depressed, I guess. I don't know. So he's like, so because they don't have an heir, the kingdom will go to their advisor nerd-ass son who is not interested in being king at all. He wants to be a botanist, and he needs like a partner or whatever. So they're like, we'll have a ball and find him a princess. Perfect plan. They're going to put the Pearl of the Sea medallion on the nerd-ass prince and do a toast. And the advisor is going to poison the toast. Also, you might be able to tell that he's evil because he is a shark and everybody else is just a regular mermaid. I do fuck heavy with the shark design though. Oh, his name is Caligo. We're just gonna call him Sharkman. So Sharkman sends an eel named Murray to go talk to Aunt Scylla, and she's like, dude, I'm not working for you again. And he's like, oh, you're not? Then I'll tell everybody what you did to the princess. And that gets her to do what she wants. Lumina overhears the end of the conversation, says, I want to go to the castle. And Aunt Scylla's like, dude, absolutely not. You are staying here. This all feels very tangled. It really does. Like, look at this Baba Yaga ass mermaid, Mother Gothel. It does unfortunately go with the Jewish stereotypes that Barbie tends to do for villains. But Aunt Scylla left the invitation behind, and Lumina's like, well, she's not going to be able to get into the ball without this. Obviously, I'm going to have to return it to her. So she sets off, and the pink seahorse comes with her. Lumina doesn't actually know how to get to town, so she's guessing and like goes through coral that definitely looks like a mouth. There's a spine. The seahorse hits a rib to try to make a point to Lumina, at which point everything collapses.
These are ribs. We're in a beast. A big, huge. Uh-oh.
And we keep getting like, oh, they're gonna lose the invitation. You see Sharkman fighting with the nerd prince about being a botanist. His dad just doesn't understand him. Also, Sharkman looks a lot like Freddie Mercury. At least my conception of Freddie Mercury. The eel Murray shows up and he's like, I did talk to Scylla. She has a niece who looks just like the princess who went missing. And Sharkman's like, oh, shit. Yeah, dude, bring her to the castle. And this is the point where I realized that seahorse man kind of looks like the My Little Pony sea ponies. Do with that what you will.
I don't think.
A narwhal ended up with the invitation, so they follow the narwhal and they end up in a cave, and there's a fish there pretending to be a rock. He has a weird voice. I think he sounds like teenage Binky Barnes from Arthur.
That's right, lady. You're looking at the face of certain doom.
Lumina is very homeschooled, so she doesn't know how to talk to Binky Barnes fish.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Doom. That is one powerful voice you have.
He is also kind of like an outsider loner because he has big spikes that are poisonous. So Lumina takes some pearls and uses her magic and puts them on the end of them so that nobody can get poked by the spikes. And now he can make friends. But he kind of has an identity crisis because like his whole life has been like, do not come near me, I will hurt you. And who is he now if he's not poisonous? So he agrees to go with them on their adventure because what else is he going to do? The eel goes to their house, sees nobody's home, finds the note Lumina left for Scylla, and just starts going through everything and breaking shit. Steals a bracelet. Is it pink pearls? It is pink pearls. Lumina thinks the city is awesome, but people are kind of rude to her. But people are nice to Spike. They really like him. They think he's cool. They love his pearls. They spot Aunt Scylla, and they can't go into the castle because they don't have their invitation. And they don't know that Aunt Scylla doesn't actually need the invitation to get in because she's here to kill. So they like duck into a salon, and there's this overworked octopus who runs it, who just decides that because she's there, she works there now. And there's like a really New Jersey mermaid.
Keep your hands out of my tip jar and don't ever touch my lucky brush.
Everybody is super conformist, and then Lumina is like, I'm actually just going to do the magic that I know how to do instead of cutting hair, and I'm going to do pearl magic to do your hair. And it catches on. Everybody loves to be an individual now. Peak Barbie nonsense. The eel goes back to Sharkman to show him the bracelet, and the significance of the bracelet is it has the royal crest on it, and he like loses his shit. And this is when I realized I don't know how he makes himself vertical, and I don't think the animators do either, because we never see his full tail when he's vertical. We only see his full tail when he's horizontal. A Ken looking merman with his blue dolphin comes in. His name is Delphin, and the octopus just decides that he works there too. Dropping off boxes, apparently. She just assumes everyone works for her. That's such a weird character trait. Sharkman brings the nerd prince in to get a haircut because he needs to attract girls at this party. I'm not convinced he's interested in girls, but then he meets the mermaid who does nails, and she is pretty, and he is like immediately smitten with her. He thinks she's beautiful, and she engages with him on his special interest, and he is like head over heels. So not gay. His haircut that Lumina gives him is good. He doesn't look like a townsperson from Shrek anymore. And he just continues to info dump on Nail Mermaid. But she's nice about it. Then the whole salon staff gets invited to the royal ball. So we get like a trying on outfits shopping montage. The nerd prince is having a very difficult time talking to the ladies because the flower that he is very proudly wearing smells terrible. So then his dad like yells at him and he cries about it. And Nail Mermaid, turns out her name is Cora, is like very nice to him about the whole thing. And she dances with him. And okay, so we've got everybody looking pretty and hot. And we've got Aunt Scylla over here fully bundled up and covered wearing like dark colors. And nobody is suspicious. Delphin, reveal he's a prince and dances with Lumina. They hit it off pretty okay. There's this plot line about the dolphin was making weird noises and then like coughed something out and now he can talk normal. Put him back to being a dolphin sound. Sharkman realizes at the ball that Lumina is the mermaid that he's looking for, so he lures her outside and then puts her in a sack, her seahorse too, and then puts them in the dungeon. He goes back to the party and like bumps into Spike and knocks one of his pearls off, and then Spike says something about poison and he's not suspicious at all, and then Spike is like, dude, why are you being weird? I'm poisonous. Lumina recognizes the eel and talks to him, and he immediately spills everything and tells the whole plan. So she uses her pearl magic to get the keys and let herself out, and then like flicks pearls at the eel so they'll just fight each other and she can sneak off. Scylla is making the poison the night of the ball, and I'm not entirely convinced that she finished it, but I guess we're supposed to believe that she did. Cora and the prince are still having a great time. Nobody has noticed Lumina's gone. Aunt Scylla kind of tries to stand up to Sharkman, and he starts being a little bit like suspicious of her, like he's unsure if she's going to poison him or poison who she's supposed to or not. Also, the dolphin gets a seat at the royal table. The king and queen really are trying to muster it up to go to this ball, but the queen is crying and doesn't want to go, and Aunt Scylla overhears and feels bad, so she tells Sharkman she's out. She tries to take the poison cup from him. He won't let her, and then I start thinking too hard about the Pearl of the Sea, because why does a necklace decide it all if everybody's already wearing a crown? Maybe that's why necklaces just aren't as common as crowns in the royal family. But they do put the necklace on the nerd, and at this point, Sharkman doesn't know which cup is poisoned. He's not trying to poison his son, he's trying to poison the king and queen. Sharkman knocks the king's drink out of his hand, tries to give him his. The hag tries to stop him. Lumina sees this and is upset that the eels were telling the truth. Lumina knocks it out of his hands. The Sharkman says, oh my god, she just attacked the king. So has the guards grab her, but then everybody around is like, dude, we know her. That's definitely not what's going on. And then Scylla defends her, but also admits to making the poison in the process. But she doesn't just say that she did. She's saying, Sharkman made me do it. But as she's saying that, Sharkman just pushes her into Spike's exposed Spike, which is not suspicious at all. And then Sharkman says that because Lumina knew what Scylla was doing, she's an accomplice. So then Aunt Scylla has like a deathbed confession where she admits to kidnapping Lumina because she couldn't bear to kill her as a baby. Hey, another assassination attempt. Oh, right. The whole poison thing. That's the assassination plot. Sorry, I wasn't clear earlier. I hope you picked up on it. You're smart. You got it. But the only cure for Spike's poison is the sulfur flower, which is the stinky flower that the prince was wearing earlier. So gives it to Lumina, but then Sharkman comes in and just grabs Scylla and tries to swim off with her. Delphin jumps in to help. Ultimately, she just steals all of her pearls back from everybody that she had given a pearl to and uses them to like separate them and hold Sharkman down. But she keeps the pearls that she was wearing on. She doesn't take them off to do magic. Selfish. She cures her aunt and then returns the pearls. Nerd Prince immediately rats out his dad because he doesn't want to be king. Remember, he wants to be a botanist. That's his line. Come on, Superman, say your stupid line. And then turns out only the royal family has pearl magic. So they're like, oh my god. And, you know, that confession from earlier. So the king and queen are like, wait, that's our daughter. Holy shit. She's blonde and wears pink instead of brunette and wearing green. But Scylla is forgiven. And then because they want Lumina to move in to the castle and be like the heir, and Lumina's like, dude, I don't think it'd feel right without my seahorse and my hag aunt. They're like, okay, everybody can just come into the castle. Never mind that we got to keep an eye on her, the poison maker. Nerd Prince gives the necklace to Lumina, who puts it on and gets a new tail, new outfit. She looks great. This is the doll that you can buy. And then we have a dance party and we end with a freeze frame. Like I said, peak Barbie nonsense. Peak Barbie nonsense. I love this movie. Best outfit, I'm going to have to go with her magic outfit. I don't really have any more notes on this. It's just peak Barbie nonsense. I think it's a fun romp. It looks good. There was a point where Barbie movies looked good, and then Starlight Adventure was a flop, and then everything got moved to Netflix and it doesn't look good anymore. So like this and Starlight Adventure are just like such a what could have been. That it's not a shame to be a Barbie movie, which I love. I love this movie. Okay, we're going to keep going with assassination plots. Next movie. All right, we've got a classic for you. 2006's Barbie 12 Dancing Princesses. iconic movie. Maybe if I can find like Genevieve's outfit for like not an awful price, I'll put it on Ballet Wishes Barbie. She needs a better outfit. Do you hear this? So really, the part that sets everything up is that somebody invites the princesses to the ball and is like, dude, these are not proper princesses. And the king is like, probably. And then we meet the cobbler, who is sweet on all the princesses, but especially Genevieve. The king is overwhelmed by having 12 kids. Yeah, anybody would be, single parent of 12. So he brings in his cousin, Duchess Rowena, to help him raise them. She brings her evil monkey. Also, she's out of money and immediately starts stealing from the royal family. Genevieve has a cat that fights with the evil monkey. The animals can talk to each other, but not humans, except for Derek's bird. He can talk to anybody. I don't like that. Also, everybody has like one character trait or interest that defines them, and Genevieve's is being late. Try harder. She likes to dance, but they all like to dance. So Rowena is super strict, gives them like an 8 o'clock bedtime, doesn't let them wear color, doesn't care to learn their names. The kids genuinely don't know if their dad knows what's going on or not. So they tell Genevieve to go talk to him because she's his favorite. Rowena butts into the meeting and says that she's very overwhelmed. They need a whole team of tutors. And the king is like, oh shit, that would be so embarrassing. We can't admit to that. I need you to just go along with what Rowena's doing right now, okay? And then Rowena makes poisoned tea for him. Assassination plotline is happening. Sisters secretly sing and dance for the triplet Kellys for their birthday. Then Rowena comes in and bans singing and dancing. And then like the day of their birthday, they don't see their dad at all, which sucks. At night, the older girls give the 3 younger girls books that had been given to them by their dead mom about the plot of this movie, about a princess who dances on magic stones and then goes to a magic world and has a great time. And she can only go 3 times, but on the last time she brings a little bit of magic back with her. And then they notice that the books, everybody has a copy of this book, and they notice that the covers have flowers that match the stones on the bottom. If you dance them in order that they were given to you, also their names are alphabetical, very Bridgerton style. It's for us, the viewer, to keep track of them. I think if you're a parent and you have to alphabetically name your kids so you can keep track of who was born when, you might not be fit to have that many kids.
Ashlyn, Blair, Courtney, Delia, Adeline, Fallon, Genevieve, Hadley, Isla, Janessa, Kathleen, Lacey.
So they dance on them in order, and then stairs appear and they go into a magic world. And all of their needs are met, so they like dance all night because that's what they really want to do. They want a boat to get to the pavilion, they get a boat to go to the pavilion. They want music to dance, and they get music to dance. The blonde Kelly is the only one that matters, but she falls and scrapes her knee, and it looks like this like zoo vet computer game I had as a kid, and the water in the pond heals it instantly. Water in the fountain heals it instantly. The kids are all super tired the next day. Rowena's like, dude, what are you doing? And nobody's going to fess up to it. But she has to go to talk to her poison dealer. The princesses go to see their dad, and he is sick in bed and apologizes for missing their birthday, and so they sing to him. The monkey continues to go through everybody's stuff. The doctor comes to see the king. He doesn't know what's wrong with him because he doesn't know he's being poisoned. I think you should be able to identify poison if you're working for the king, but that's just me. They get new ballet shoes, and Derek is like, dude, how did you work through these so fast? And they're like, just dancing a lot. And Genevieve asks him, what is his name? Derek. I already said that. Ask Derek, the shoe cobbler, to look into the poison dealer. They don't know that's what he does, though. His Fabian, the mysterious friend. They go to the Magic Land again. They wish for better dancing outfits because remember, they're stuck wearing all gray, so they get to wear their colors from the beginning of the movie, but they have slightly shorter skirts so they can dance. Derek catches up with Fabian, finds out that he's selling poison, but he's like done with Rowena because she never pays. This time, instead of giving her money, he gave her a silver thing from the castle that has the dead Queen Isabella's name on it.
Queen Isabella.
And so Derek is like, oh shit, that's the girl I like's mom's stuff, and trades his horse for that silver thing. The girls are sleepy again. The monkey found their worn out dance shoes. Rowena's like, dude, like fess up to what's happening. So they like tell the story, and Rowena's like, dude, do you think I'm dumb? What the hell? And doesn't believe them. Genevieve and blonde Kelly go to talk to their dad and overhear part of his conversation with Rowena. I hate this like trope of just hearing part of a conversation and misinterpreting it, so they think that their dad thinks they're a burden. At which point Rowena locks them in their room and tells them that they have to leave their dad alone or he won't get better. The princesses go to the Magic Land and decide that they're just gonna stay there. Rowena tells Derek that they ran away, and Derek is like, dude, that doesn't make any sense, and remembers the story about the magic portal. They wish for handsome princes to dance with, and the statues come to life. So like if they were, listen, spoiler, they're not gonna stay there forever. If they were to stay there forever, like, could they get little houses for themselves? And like, do they all have to marry a gold statue? What if they want kids? Anyways, I wonder if the sun ever rises there. It's always nighttime when they go. The monkey watches Derek open the portal. And the monkey shows Rowena how to open it, and then they get in there and they steal some gold flowers. Those are what grant the wishes. The princesses decide that they're going to go back so they can try to save their dad, even though they're not going to be able to come back to the magic land again. But then the magic world starts disappearing because in the real world, Rowena is smashing the tiles like with the flowers on it that they used to enter the portal. So she's smashing the portal. Their dad names Rowena queen until he is healthy enough to resume his duties. They dance their way out, and wouldn't you know it, Genevieve and Derek doing a duet is what gets them out, even though they don't have the portal, the normal portal anymore. I'm probably going to hate how this looks when I edit it. Okay, and then this is the part where every time I think to myself, they probably could have come 36 times because there's 12 of them and you get 3 nights each. So like Genevieve used her 3 to get them in, but then couldn't each of them do the dance 3 times and they get to go 36 times? Oh my god, and Derek, we could go 39 times. Just saying, these are some missed opportunities. The guards were told to arrest the princesses, so they have to like sneak back in. The good news is they brought some water to try to heal their dad. So that's Genevieve and Blonde Kelly's mission. Everybody else was just kind of supporting it. Rowena brought back some of the flowers and uses them to fight. Rowena wishes for Genevieve to dance forever and ever, but Genevieve uses her fan and it blows the magic pollen back onto Rowena, so instead she's the one cursed to dance for forever and ever. They revive their dad, who's very grateful, and then Genevieve and Derek get married. Remember when we used to end movies with weddings? The hairstyle looked very Princess and the Pauper, but that's fine. I mean, it's the same character model. It's a happy ending, and I choose to believe that Derek like moves into the castle with her and just like makes shoes for fun instead of for a living now. I mean, she's out of the line of succession anyway. She's G. What is that? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, she's 7th in line for the throne. She can marry whoever she wants. I personally love this movie. I like the dancing in it. I like the plotline. I think it's fun. It's another like peak Barbie nonsense. I forgot to mention that this is another iconic voice. Rowena is voiced by Moira Rose. Catherine O'Hara. The villain is voiced by Catherine O'Hara. She is like so perfect to have in the Barbie universe as a villain. She should have been in the Margot Robbie live action Barbie. That, I think she's great. She's like perfect to play Rowena. So like between her, Tim Curry, Mouse King, and Martin Short, Princess and the Pauper, like these are honestly like the most iconic voices for the most iconic villains. I love it. She got very close to killing the king. Like he was like about to die and then they poured that water down his throat. Oh, best outfit. I forgot to say that. I mean, probably Genevieve's. I really like her wedding dress, but I think I'm just going to go with Genevieve's ballet outfit. That is what it was designed to be. All right, we've got one more movie left after this. The last movie we're going to discuss in this video is Barbie Princess Charm School from 2011. This movie feels like a child's imaginative play. And I think that's the best way to think about it. Because you know how there's like that canon about Barbie as an actress? Yes, an actress in a child's imagination. It's so Barbie nonsense. It really is. We meet Blair. Not to be confused with
Blair.
And she is a waitress and she is poor. She lives in an apartment with her very sick mom and her sister. As far as I can tell, her being a waitress at a coffee shop is the only source of income. She is the breadwinner for the family. Maybe sick mom is on disability. There's a school nearby called Princess Charm School where princesses go to learn to be princesses, and and like their ladies in waiting, which are going to be called Lady Royals, also can go there. And there's a lottery every year for a commoner to go to Princess Charm School, and Blair wins the contest and she's like immediately taken in a carriage to go there. And I'm very worried for their family because does this mean that the only source of income is going to Princess Charm School? Also, the sister's the one who entered her in it. Okay, also, is the mom dying? Blair comes home and asks the sister, is mom okay? And her response is, kind of. The doctors say she's comfortable. Maybe it's a good thing she is going to princess school. Shit! We meet Delancey, who is currently the princess. Her coronation is the end of the year where she's going to become princess of this city. I don't know, country. It's very unclear. And you know that she's the bad guy and she's a bitch because her and her mom's facial features are very pointy. I also think her mom, Dame Devon, is supposed to be wearing gold, but it just looks poopy green. And it gets poopier as the movie goes on. And they don't pick her up in a car, they pick her up in a carriage and say, you have to go now. So she goes now. This movie has weird cutscenes. They could have at least let her change clothes before she got there, but there's absolutely nobody there to greet her except for a golden retriever that tackles her. The headmistress takes her to her locker, but not her room, and tells her that only 27% of the lottery winners make it to graduation. You need to do more to support your pores. This is like a you problem, admin, not the girl's problem. Blair receives a assistant who is a fairy, and there has been no mention of magic up until now. Only the elites have access to magic in this world. Her locker has everything a student princess could possibly need: books, pens, paper, makeup mirrors, sparkle purse collection, emergency pumps, hairbrush, lipstick, perfume. The lockers can also magically change her clothes. Portia is Delancey's minion, and she is dumb as a box of rocks, but I love her.
You taking orders? Because I would do anything for a double foam mocha latte. The floor cake was delicious.
Portia!
Personally, I think she might be a stoner, which maybe she's from a country where that's legal. Imagine a smoke sesh of her and Merle's stoner grandpa. Delancey immediately bullies Blair. Blair goes to her room where she meets her roommates. They are both princesses. One is sporty, one is music-y. We get a start of term assembly with beautiful static backgrounds. We also find out that the headmistress really doesn't fuck with Dame Devon. We find out that Dame Devon took over the school after Queen Isabella and her... What's another Isabella? We're recycling names.
Queen Isabella.
After she died, and now her daughter is next in line for the throne, but there's a legend, rumor, that the royal family didn't all die in the crash, and some people think the princess may have survived. Blair doesn't keep up with the royals. Remember, she has a job, so she doesn't know any of these legends. There's also allegedly a magic tiara that will glow when placed on the head of the true heir. The first class that they have is how to balance books on your head. Personally, I think for this princess school, it should maybe be like foreign policy or languages, but I'm not Dame Devon. What would I know? Dame Devon acts weird after she makes eye contact with Blair and yells in her face to get out. And it's super weird. They go to lunch and we have a great reference to not eating carbs. Sometimes ED culture just slips right in there, doesn't it? Delancey makes her fairy help bully Blair. We find out that Dame Devon was actually Lady Royal, not a princess. And the princesses get to pick their Lady Royals at graduation, and nobody picked her, not even her sister-in-law, Queen Isabella, and she would just be a regular person if Delancey was not now in line for the throne because of the death of the royal family. I would like to request a family tree. Blair's family sent her a care package, which was very nice of them, and she explains to her friends that she was left on her sick mom's doorstep when she was 1 and doesn't actually know her birthday, so they just celebrate her gotcha day. Her sister is also adopted. The headmistress Privet tells Blair that Dame Devon wants her expelled after only a couple days, and at first she agreed because Blair's kind of a disaster, but then it's no, actually you have the right character to be a princess. And they have this whole conversation. She's like, what do you think makes a princess? And Blair's like, a crown? She's like, no, it's character. But I think she's valid in thinking that it's the crown because we haven't seen any lessons or attempts at diplomacy or anything like that. Headmistress Privet decides that she's going to tutor Blair. I know that there are people that ship the headmistress and Blair, and I frankly can't get on board with that. That's her teacher. This is gross and an abuse of power. The tutoring involves balance, tea, walking, dressing, dancing, not history or politics. Economics. They meet in her room, which again still feels inappropriate. They have a combined lesson with the nearby boys' school that barely ever gets mentioned if ever again. So the girls are going to dance with the boys, and there's an odd number of boys and girls because Prince Nicholas isn't there yet, and that's who Delancey wanted to dance with. But her mom is like, dude, I'm not going to have my daughter miss out on this. So she makes Blair sit out, of course, and then Nicholas shows up late and he hits it off with Blair. They're going to have class dinner at the palace, so everybody is given time to go to the spa. Yeah, the school has a spa. To get ready for it. And when Blair and her friends return, their clothes have been shredded, and they recognize this was probably Delancey because she's been targeting Blair. So they decide to use the scraps of their uniforms to make cuter versions of the uniforms. And they do get away with it, but they're also told if you miss one class, you fail it, and if you are not in uniform, you cannot go to class. This all just feels very extreme. You'd think there would just be an office that you get sent to if you're not in uniform. That's what happened when I didn't show up properly in uniform. If my skirt was too short, my tights were too patterned. The Girls are all allowed to explore the castle a little bit, and they find a portrait of Princess Isabella, and they're like, dude, that looks just like Blair. What are the odds? Blair's friends connect dots that the day that she was found on her mom's doorstep that they celebrate as her birthday was also the day of the car crash that killed the royal family. Unfortunate. They find a picture of the whole royal family with Princess Sophia in it, and the friends are like, dude, maybe Blair and Dame Devon are so awful to you because they think you're Princess Sophia. Delancey overhears this conversation, and her features start to be less pointy. Dame Devon announces that Delancey is going to start an initiative to tear down some unsightly apartment buildings and put in parks because it's good for nature. And that one of the apartments, like the neighborhoods they're going to tear down, is where Blair's family live. And she's like, dude, people live there. My family lives there. And Dame Devon is just like, well, better go home and start packing then, huh? And she runs out crying. We're going to stay and fight and figure out that and prove that she's Princess Sophia so that Delancey doesn't get on the throne and evict her whole family. So they're going to look for the magic crown. When they start packing to get ready to leave, there's a fire alarm that just shuts everything down. But they evacuate to the balcony. Even the second floor people. That's not safe or counting as evacuating. Dame Devon used the distraction to go into Blair's room. Delancey kind of stands up to her mom about it, but then Dame Devon says that Blair stole jewelry and convinces Delancey to go along with the lie. And she submits to her mom but feels bad about it. So then Blair's room is searched and they find jewelry in her and both her roommate's stuff, so they get locked up. But Delancey shows up and takes them away from the escort and gives them directions to how to get to the crown. They sneak into the castle and the guards' eyes all look really normal. The code to get into the vault is the date of the car crash, but Dame Devon locks them in there. Coronation Day is also graduation day, which is not how any of this works. If I get expelled, how am I not entitled to my birthright anymore? Child nonsense. Imaginative play. They announce the Princess of Philadelphia.
You are hereby dubbed Princess Miranda of Philadelphia.
And somehow it's not Jalen Hurts. Delancey is trying to buy more time, so she just keeps stalling being crowned. They do hack her shit and they get out, and then they go into the coronation where it is just students. There's no parents, there's no cameras or press, there's no public. Coronations are such grand affairs, you would think there'd be more to this. So maybe they just call graduation coronation. But then where are their parents? I don't know. But Blair comes in right on time and announces that she's Princess Sophia. So then they're saying, okay, we're going to investigate this claim. We're just going to pause this. And Dame Devon loses her shit. Everybody in the audience just sits politely and watches all of this happen. Delancey ends up with the crown and she puts it on Blair because she also wants to know, is this my cousin? Is this Princess Sophia? And it glows, so it is Princess Sophia, and gives her a new outfit, and Dame Devon has just a great reaction. Oh, it turns out there are cameras broadcasting. We just didn't see them until now, when they catch Dame Devon saying, I eliminated Queen Isabella so you could be princess one day. That got broadcasted to everybody. Blair addresses her subjects, and says that she accepts the role, and as her Lady Royal, she picks Delancey because she wants to end a cycle of abuse. Also, she might be a little bit scared if that's what led Dame Devon to killing her mom, was not being picked to be a Lady Royal. It might be coming from fear. We're going to say it comes from nice, though. Blair brings her family to live with her in the palace. And I would like a follow-up on her very sick mom. Does she die? Does she get medical attention and get better? You decide. I just want to say, imagine what it's like hearing from royal watcher blogs during all of this. It would be insane. This would be the most entertaining TikTok drama if this were to happen in real life. Can you imagine? Best outfit is going to be Blair's coronation dress. I hate her hair in this whole movie. I do. So this one got, I guess we're going to call it first place. It went last because it was the most effective. Someone actually died. The king and queen actually died in the car crash, Princess Diana style. Maybe that was bad taste. Dame Devon's got that dog in her, I guess. She's willing to kill. Watch out for her. She's in jail. Assuming she's in jail. Let's do some wrap up now. So I think most convoluted assassination really does go to Princess Power. I think Dame Devon, just car crash, very Princess Diana, very straightforward. The other two are both poison, which the convolution just comes into when do you want to do it. So I think we're going to say 12 Dancing Princesses was simpler than Pearl Princess. I hope I never watch Princess Power again. And I will be watching Pearl Princess again. I love 12 Dancing Princesses. It has a special place in my heart. Same with Princess Charm School. That movie is just fun. I don't know what else to tell you. That is the most fun I don't know about in the whole Barbie canon, but maybe. But for sure in this assassination video it is. So I can't say it's weird that there's so much assassination because there's so many princesses, and also the Barbie players as kids, like, we were coming up with fucked up plot lines, telenovela style. Yeah, I had a lot of assassinations. I can't tell you how many times Dolphin Shark ate Ken, or whoever was playing the bad guy of the moment. So really, no complaints for assassination. My only complaint is that I need to not put 4 movies into one video, because this is going to be so much editing and I'm going to hate it. Editing is the worst part of making these videos. And so if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching the whole thing. Please like, please subscribe, please share, maybe comment your favorite outfit in these movies. This is a friendly reminder to donate to your local PBS station so that you can keep it free for the people who can't afford to donate. And I will, follow me on TikTok at BLYHDGN. I post there quite frequently, and I will see you next week. Bye!